What action has the European Commission taken in the wake of the Costa Concordia tragedy? The answer, to be quite frank, is not much. A year on from the fatal capsizing, there has in fact been no new legislation here in Brussels, and neither now is there likely to be until 2015 or perhaps later. What actually happened was, in the immediate aftermath of the capsizing, the cruise industry went to Brussels officials and European Union Transport Commissioner Sim Kallas and pleaded with them not to come up with any knee-jerk reaction. There was a fear that Brussels would go into overdrive, as it did following the oil tanker spills of the Erika and Prestige, for example. In this case, the cruise industry said there was no need for new laws because there would be a system of rigorous voluntary measures put into place. For example, the emergency muster drills, which previously did not always take place prior to sailing, would become compulsory prior to sailing. Secondly, life jackets. There would be voluntary measures put in place to ensure that enough, more than enough life jackets were on board all cruise ships. Mr. Kallas listened carefully to these pleas and decided that voluntary measures were indeed sufficient. And since then, not only has there not been a knee-jerk reaction, there hasn't been much of a reaction at all. As it happens, however, there was passenger ship legislation already in the pipeline prior to the Costa Concordia. It was due to include laws, or a law, to ensure that a ship that suffered a significant engine failure could limp back to port. However, due to the snail-like pace of government bureaucracy, and also due to delays caused by the lack of a report from Italy into the Costa Concordia incidents, these proposals have been delayed. Now, given the changing of the guard here in Brussels, the Commission is coming to the end of its mandate, it looks unclear and perhaps unlikely that the legislation will be proposed this year. It might have to wait until next year or even 2015. More comprehensive measures to take stock of the lessons learned from the Costa Concordia were also in the pipeline a few months ago, but these now seem to have been delayed yet further. The Commission has been looking at issues such as watertight doors below deck and the presence of unregistered passengers. Both these issues came up following the Costa Concordia, and legislation was due. But again, due to the changing of the guard, this looks like they're going to have to wait until 2015 at the earliest before these proposals are underway, which means they'll come into effect probably several years later, if at all. The question that is most on people's minds is, are these voluntary measures enough to prevent another similar cruise ship tragedy? Some would say that if voluntary measures were enough, there would be no need here in Brussels for any legislation at all. One thing is clear: if there is another casualty, some people will point the finger of blame at Brussels for its lack of action. This is just one of the issues we're looking at on the Maritime Watch. Why not check out the free content below this video?